Hi, everyone. Hi, Jill, Daria, sister. How's everyone doing? Hey, folks on YouTube and TikTok as well. I have a live goal up here. Fixing to bring my moderator up. On today's show, we're going to talk about energy security. We're also going to talk about weird facts. I got more weird facts. So it's going to be a good show today. There's the mod.
What?
The Jillster, what's up?
What's up?
How you feeling?
I'm okay.
You feeling good?
Yeah.
Good. Good. It's about time.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Nothing. You having a good day?
Yeah, I guess so.
You guess so?
I guess so.
Hi, Amanda. Everybody, please tap that screen and like the live. What did I just read about Canada? I don't know what you just read about Canada. Hey, Summer. Canada called an election. Okay. Is everything negative? Not today. Not today. Hi, Christine. How is everyone doing? It's beautiful weather today where I live. Hi, Jumbo from Vancouver. Yeah, I'm going to turn this volume up. Montreal. Jill.
Yes.
You got 10 seconds to answer this question.
Don't quiz me.
What? It's not a quiz. What was the first toy to be advertised on TV?
I don't know.
No guesses?
It had to be something like, I can't think of the name of that company, but I think I have an idea.
Mr. Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head was the first one advertised on TV?
That's what I got. Yeah, Mr. Potato Head.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I when I read it, I thought I wouldn't have guessed that.
I didn't guess it because I had no idea.
And then I realized that the toys that I was thinking it might be existed before TV existed. So it was kind of hard for them to be on TV when there wasn't a TV, right? I didn't think about the Slinky. I never understood the Slinky, why that was a thing. Like, what is that? What are you gonna?
You were one of them kids who couldn't use the Slinky. Huh?
No, I could use it. It just wasn't. There was nothing entertaining about it. I didn't understand. Like,
Listen, you didn't use it right.
I did.
You were supposed to use it to tie your sister's hands behind her back and things like that.
I'm pretty sure that's what I ended up using it for. I certainly didn't use it for whatever it was intended for. I could literally like set a stick at the top of the stairs and have it go down the stairs. I didn't need a Slinky for that.
Oh, that's funny.
More news today. Japan, they're having problems. Big problems. They're facing a ninja shortage. Yeah.
A ninja shortage?
Yeah, they're short on ninjas.
I'll go be a ninja.
Huh?
I'll go be a ninja.
I don't think you will. I don't think you will. That's not a thing.
Uh, could be fun.
You're going to be a ninja. What do
I don't know.
you can't just say you're a ninja. You can't just be like, I'll be a ninja.
Why not?
Have you never seen, like, Kill Bill? You can't just be a ninja.
Wow. You just ruined my whole hopes.
Like, you have to train with, like, some kind of ninja master, or, like, you have for, like, years. Like, you can't just volunteer. Like, there's not a volunteer ninja department. That's not a thing.
Well, that's messed up.
Anyway, apparently, it's for entertainment purposes. So ninja shows are a huge thing in Japan, right? Where they put on these, but there's no ninjas. Like, they're a thing of the past. Maybe they should.
Must come to an end.
Maybe they should have musketeer shows. It's much easier to be a musketeer than a ninja.
Wait, yeah. Darla said actually, Jill, they have ninja blender shortages, right? Well, I could be a ninja. I have a ninja blender.
I'm not talking about blenders. I'm talking about actual ninjas.
But I could be a ninja because I have a ninja blender.
That doesn't make you a ninja. That makes you someone who uses a blender. Come on.
I'll just sign my husband up. He's a ninja.
Your husband's a ninja?
He could be.
You get him one of those throwing stars for Christmas. Does he have the outfit? Like,
No, he doesn't have the outfit.
oh. You should get him one.
He just has the cat-like reflexes.
Oh. Well. They have an emergency number in North Korea. Like we have 911. North Korea has an emergency number. It's 113. Do you know what that's for?
Same thing 911's for?
No.
What's it for?
I wouldn't have brought it up if it was the same thing. It's to report spies.
Oh.
Yeah. So there must not be very good spies in North Korea if the average person on the street can report them.
Right, because if they can spot them and be like, that's a spy,
Yeah.
that's nothing.
Yeah.
Or do you think that they just use that number to call in anyone that's kind of like Trump, anyone that's different than them, and they're like, you know, this person's
Yeah.
a spy, I know it.
Exactly. Someone said something you didn't like, you just call the number. They take them down to the square, put a couple in their head, whatever.
We need one of those numbers so we can call it and fill it up with Trump. Trump's a spy. Trump's a spy. Everybody call. Elon's a spy. Everybody call.
Oh my God. Hey Jill, have you ever noticed that an ink pen has two little holes in it? You ever notice that?
Some of them do, yes.
Yeah. Do you know why?
Why?
It's so the air pressure on the inside and outside of the pen is the same, and it allows the ink to flow.
Okay. Well, what about them ones that don't have that?
I don't know. Maybe they have some advanced technology.
Yeah, because mine don't have that. Well, the one I have sitting here.
Well, this one does. I'll see if this one does. This one does not.
Two of mine don't.
This one does not. Wow.
I got one more pen. Let me look. Let me see. One more. I got lots of pens. None of mine have them.
You don't have any
But
big.
I have seen them.
You don't have any big pens.
I do. I have a big one. Right. That's the last one I grabbed.
Wow.
Yes, and it does not have that.
Bic is literally the pen that has the holes. Like they.
Well, mine does not. It's a big ultra round. And it does not have holes.
So do you know how the first roller coaster was built? This is true. The first roller coaster was built to transport coal. And the coal miners thought, well, that'd be fun to ride. So they jumped on it and they rode it. And then the roller coaster was born. Hi, Juju. Do you ride roller coasters, Jill?
What's that? Do I have what?
Do you ride roller coasters?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a thing or is it just something you've done?
No, if I go to a park, I ride them.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been to one in a long time, though.
I haven't either. Yes, Joan, hillbillies invented roller coasters. Who would have thought? Like it's the most hillbilly thing ever. You're in like a little train car with no top on it hanging upside down 150 feet in the air. That's a great idea.
My favorite ones are the older ones, the wooden ones.
Yeah.
I like those.
They move a lot, they creak a lot, and they're loud.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like them too.
I don't like a lot of them new ones. They end up hurting my neck or something.
Well, you know, they got to crank up the old G-force a little bit. How many G's are you pulling? Right? They got to keep pushing the envelope. The thing that I like about the old wooden ones is because when I'm getting on it, I'm thinking, well, this thing's like 100 years old and it hasn't killed anybody yet, so I'll be fine.
That's hilarious. I never thought of it that way.
That's how yeah, very pragmatic way of thinking. We got a new roller coaster at our theme park in OKC a few years back, and we were there. And my kids were like, "Are we going to ride the roller coaster?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. I'd give it a couple of more years. Like, get it.
Yeah, I ain't going to ride the new ones.
Yeah, let's get it seasoned." And my son was like, "What do you mean, get it seasoned?" I'm like, everybody that dies on a roller coaster, it's like a brand new one.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, let's give it a couple of years, work out the kinks, and then I'll get on it. Because that thing was, you know, the new ones are just crazy. Like they have to make them 10 times faster, more loops, more steep drops, all the craziest. Kind of like that giant water slide they built in Kansas City. Years back, they built the largest water slide in the world in Kansas City, and it killed a kid because the drop, like you would come and then you would drop, and I don't remember how much, it was like 100 and something foot drop, and it was so steep that this kid flew off of it, like he didn't stay inside of it, and it killed him. And I'm all for working the kinks out on roller coasters and water slides.
for that as well. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
get on one of the ones that, you're not sure of.
Look, Juju's laughing at me. You got to work the kinks out. Like, you got to, Last year, I took my then 9-year-old to a carnival, and he wanted to get on this ride. I don't remember what it was called. Like, I'm not one of those people that memorize the names of all the rides. And this is the ride. Maybe it's called the Spider, but it has the buckets on it, and it goes round and up and down. And is that called the Spider? So we get on this thing, and it starts. And he's like, this is a little more sketchy than I thought it would be. And I said, really? Yeah. And he's 9. So, and he said, yeah. And I said, so now you realize that getting on this machine that's being operated by, you remember the word we used last night that we got a violation for? A crackhead.
Yes, watch, because we got that violation, yeah.
Yeah. So you put your life in the hands of this person who's under the influence of all kinds of synthetic and artificial substances to distort their brain, right? And they probably haven't slept in 3 days. And you're in this machine going 100 miles an hour flying through the air, and now you're concerned about it? So I just told him, I said, look, don't worry about it. If anything happens, you won't feel a thing. I didn't know what else to tell him. He's like, what do you mean it won't feel a thing? I'm like, you'll die instantly. Like, you may wonder why you're flying through the air at 100 miles an hour, 50 feet off the ground for a second, but, it'll be quick. Don't worry about it. He didn't get back on that machine after that.
He didn't get back on
No.
it. Yeah, I didn't either. If someone said that to me, I probably would not have that.
Oh, man. Yes, Juju, last night in a live, that term got us a warning and a restriction. Yeah, you got to be very careful what you say on the clock app. You got to be careful.
Yes, you do.
Were more drilling permits issued under Trump 1 or Biden? For the entire administration, it was really close, but I think Biden edged him out. He was pretty far ahead at one point. I'm pretty sure he edged him out. I never looked at the final, full numbers for the entirety of both administrations. And also keep in mind that in 2020, in the last year of the Trump administration, they weren't really issuing any permits because nobody was really drilling. But Biden was ahead by a fair amount. I know in 21 beat 17, 22 beat 18. So I'm pretty sure it was Biden, but I haven't looked at the final numbers for the full administrations. But so I did a piece earlier on energy security, and I want to talk about that a little bit. Don't always assume somebody's going to keep you safe. Yeah, especially those somebodies. Yeah. Energy security, energy poverty, energy wealth. So, because I think a lot of people don't understand how important it is. In the United States, we go, we turn the light switch on, the light comes on, and it always has. And so in this country, we don't really grasp how important energy is, right? So in the global conflict or the global struggle or the global game of chess, right? Where all of these huge nations are fighting to dominate the world, right? In the global struggle for power, that's a game of chess, and energy is the pieces in the chess game. That energy is the single most important thing to global world power domination. It is the one thing that matters. It matters more than anything in the world. It matters more than nuclear weapons. It matters more than militaries. It matters more than everything. And yep, there's my restriction.
So now you're not on the FYP.
Yeah. All right, everybody. I am going to end this live and restart it because we do this for a couple of hours, and I'm not gonna do this for 2 hours being restricted. Nobody will see it. So I'm gonna end and jump right back in, start a new one, come back in and see us. Okay.
His alleged awareness of inappropriate
See, Juju, it just happened again. No, I'm not ending on YouTube. I can actually speak on YouTube. That's a thing they allow me to do. They just don't allow me to do it on TikTok. Just say Rockhead. Maybe I'll try that. Or yeah. No, not ending the YouTube live. The EU and the USA are in very different situations. Apart from electricity, the EU has to import all of its energy. Exactly.
That was a bit much.
That was a bit much.
You only said it one time. We said it like 5
Yeah.
before I got it.
Yeah. Country told me to just say Rockhead.
Yeah.
If this comes back on after I said Rockhead, I'm just like, oh my God. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Hey, everyone. Welcome to the new and improved live on TikTok. Where we have adjusted our language. We're following the rules of our censorship gods. Live goal right here. Please give the moderator. Tap the screen, folks. Get the likes up. Get the people back in here. Get the engagement going. I can't say what caused the warning or I'll get another warning. Hi, Andrea.
Yes, he will get another warning. So we're not going to say.
Can TikTok, can you just send us a list of shit we can't say? Like, I'm tired of guessing. Last night we thought some people, not really me, some people thought it was because the word Karen was used.
Because it happened right after she said Karen. Like, that thing popped up immediately when she said, "There's such a Karen." And boom. And I was like, was it Karen that did it? Because, I mean, you don't know on here. You honestly don't know on here. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, so we had just planned to address everyone whose name was Karen as Mitzi. Or we'll just call him Mitzi from now on. That way we can not get restricted. Thank you so much for the gifts. Oh, man. Troy, I never noticed that. You can't say Elon on Yahoo? We got any Mitzies in here? Daria, thank you so much for the membership gift for Frankie. So where was I? Oh my God.
I don't remember where we were.
Why do we put up with this app? I don't understand why we do this.
I don't know, because it's the best live app. Like,
Okay.
other than like to have a bunch of people.
Okay. So Little Rock Mike has a question. Now, Little Rock Mike, I'm going to answer this question, and I want you to write this down because I'm going to see if I can predict the price of gasoline at the pump at your local station 6 months from today. The problem is it's going to take us 6 months to figure it out. So the question is, what will the price of gas be at the pump at my local station 6 months from today? I need to know. I don't need your address. I just need to know the city, and I also need to know the station. Is it a Shell station, a Chevron station? You give me those two things, and I will try to predict that. You were talking about energy. Yes, we'll get back into that here in just a second. So don't give away any personal information you don't want to, Mike, but if you can tell me the city and the type of station. Chantilly, Virginia, Shell. Do you know Mike? Tina, do you know Mike? You know where Mike's at and where he buys gas? I'm talking specifically to Little Rock Mike, who I assume is in Little Rock. But oh, is he afraid of saying it? I mean, his name is Little Rock Mike. We'll see if he responds. If he doesn't, I'll pick one of the other ones. But I'm not going to predict gas prices in 20 different towns in 6 months. We'll be here all day. Troy says Hawk sounds like he's abandoning the clock app. So look, that's coming. I'm telling you, that's coming. A lot of people are leaving the clock app. It's just they got to get their other social media accounts built up, and as soon as they do, they're going to be gone. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
The people who don't do like friendly lives are definitely leaving.
Little Rock, Walmart, Murphy Oil. Okay. Okay, so Little Rock Mike in Little Rock at Walmart. Okay, 6 months from now is what, mid-September?
On my birthday.
And we'll say it's after the holiday.
First day of fall.
Okay. Hi, Tracy, not Stacy. Luke, I am your father. Jill,
Yes.
does your stomach hurt today?
No, why? I mean, yes, as
Like,
in, like, I thought you meant that I have a stomach ache. No. But from laughing, absolutely, it does hurt that way, yes. I was like, why would I have a stomach ache? Did I eat something I wasn't supposed to last night? M&Ms, too many M&Ms, maybe?
so at Walmart in Little Rock at the Murphy Oil in September, mid-September, 6 months from now, um, gas prices are going to be falling, so that they will be on their way down, but they won't have fallen much from the summer, right? So they will be falling, but they won't have gotten to. It's hard to say. They should have winter blend in the tanks. Um, Typically, it's got to be there by October 1st, but this late in September, it'd probably already be there. Um, so I'm going to say gas prices at your station in 6 months from now in Little Rock at the Murphy Oil at Walmart is going to be $2.69 a gallon.
Write it down. Write it down.
Would that be a ballpark figure for all Murphy stations? No, because there's Murphy stations in very expensive areas of the country as well. Now, that's assuming we're not in a complete financial collapse at that point. That's assuming, right? That's assuming that everything is sort of as normal as it is now. I know it's not normal, but we're talking about the economy. So I think it's going to be about $2.69 a gallon. Okay. Jill, did you see the video I did earlier? Um, Will natural gas drop under $4? It may drop under $4, but it's going to average over $4 for the entire year. So there may be days or even weeks where it falls below $4, but for the year, it's absolutely going to be above $4. It's probably, and it really depends on how we end the year. If we end the year, like if we get off to a cold start in the winter, which is not likely because winters have been getting cold much later in the year. But if we have a couple of cold snaps before December the 31st, natural gas could average $4.25 for the year. But assuming that doesn't happen, it probably won't happen. Natural gas will probably average about $4.10 throughout the entire year. And that's across the country. So
His mods ran away. They all ran, and they don't want to be here. I was writing down the 269, by the way.
who?
Somebody asked, where are your mods? And I said they all ran away.
All my mods.
Yeah.
How many do I have? This is my mod.
And I was writing down your 269.
I do have a couple of people that also have mod powers, but this is the mod, right? This is the mod. This is the mod boss right here.
And by the way, this mod is modding 2 lives,
Yeah.
YouTube and one on here. So if you see a bot or somebody being rude, be patient. I have to scroll back because I'm watching two chats. Plus, I'm writing down his stuff.
Yeah. She's a dual threat. She's like the Allen Iverson of mods.
I know, Kyle. It's fine. It's fine. If I just want you to know, be patient. I'll get to them. That one is gone, by the way.
So, Jill, did you see the piece of content I made earlier about energy security?
I did not.
Okay,
I
good.
did not get a chance to watch it.
That's good. That's good. Okay. So, this is going to take a few minutes. I'm going to talk about this because it's something that people in the United States don't understand, right? So, when we talk about world dominance, we talk about the struggle. You talk about the United States, Russia, China. You talk about these big countries, right? What we often forget is every day we're in a battle for basically world dominance. There's a huge game of like risk that has gone on every day of our lives that happens in the background that we don't see. And that's like a giant game of chess. And the pieces that we play that game of chess with is energy. Energy is the single most important thing in the world when it comes to being a superpower, when it comes to being the dominant country in the world, when it comes to being the strongest, most powerful, richest country in the world. The only thing that matters is energy and nothing else. Nuclear weapons don't matter. Militaries don't matter. What matters is energy, okay? That's what matters. If you lose the energy, nothing else matters. It is the one thing that matters the most. And what a lot of people don't understand, so I did this video earlier and I talked about the amount of energy that my refrigerator uses is more than the amount of energy than 25% of the people in the entire world use. That's just my refrigerator, right? We are a very energy-rich country, so much so that we take it for granted. We've always had energy security. We've always had readily available energy. That's not the case in most of the rest of the world. There's almost 1 billion people on the planet that don't even have access to electricity. There's 6 billion people on the planet that don't have access to reliable energy, and that means when they turn that switch on the wall, they don't know if the lights are going to come on or not. That they don't have energy security, right? And there's a lot of, you look at the EU, someone brought it up in the YouTube earlier, on the YouTube live. When you look at the EU uses a lot of energy, but they import all of it, so they have no energy security, right? And when we talk about China, yes, that this is the theme of every Mad Max movie. There's a lot of truth in Mad Max movies because this is a real thing. People look at Mad Max and they think it's like some dystopian fictional thing. It's not. It's absolutely true. And when we talk about China and the rate at which they're building EVs, what you have to understand is they're not doing that for the climate. The climate has absolutely nothing to do with the rate at which China's building EVs. China's building EVs so they're not reliant on the United States and Russia. China wants to be a global superpower, and they believe, probably rightly so, that getting off of energy sources from any other country is the way to get there. And that's why you hear Donald Trump talking so much about energy dominance. That's why there's all of this stuff about Canada becoming the 51st state, the Panama Canal, Greenland. This is all about harnessing and securing as much energy possible for the United States so it continue to grow as a superpower and not get passed by China. All the EVs that China's building and selling, they're all built with coal power. They all run on electricity generated with coal power. This has nothing to do with climate and everything to do. Coal is very abundant in China. It has nothing to do with the climate. absolutely nothing to do with the climate. And understand something, that if you buy an EV that was built with coal power and the electricity that it runs on is coal power, then you are not contributing anything with that vehicle being an EV. It will, when all of the power that's generated to build it and fuel it, when all of that power is coal, it never flips the carbon footprint, and you're more likely to actually be dirtier with an EV that runs on coal than you are with a gas car. Right? You probably got to put a good 80 or 90,000 miles on an EV if it was built with coal and all that electricity comes from coal. So there's no emissions savings there. And China consumes more coal than every other country in the world combined. But it's not for the climate. The EVs are not for the climate. The EVs are a part of their national security strategy to get off of U.S. energy, to get off of Russian energy, to get off of Middle Eastern energy. That is their goal. And they've been doing this for like 25 years. And people need to understand that this is much larger than climate. This has nothing to do with the climate and everything to do with being a global superpower. That's why they're building EVs, to be a global superpower. People in the United States use easily 20 times more energy than billions of people around the world. And we don't recognize that, and we don't understand what it means to have energy in our homes. If you don't have energy, then you have no economic prosperity, you have no economic opportunity, you have no educational opportunity, you have no socioeconomic opportunities. A country without energy, what that means for women is they are stuck in the kitchen. They become a slave to their country because they have no energy. When you have no energy, you have no opportunity. So women are stuck in the kitchen, the children are stuck in the fields, and that's where they're going to spend their lives, because without energy, they have no opportunity at all to speak of, and they are literally slaves. That's how it works. Imagine being out on the frontier in 1850 and being a woman or a child. What did they do? They didn't have any energy, so what did they do? They took care of the family. They took care of the crops. They had no independence. They had no opportunities. The women existed to service men and to have children. The children existed to help with the farm and the crops. It's still that way today in many parts of the world. It's still that way today in many parts of the world, and we don't understand that. Like, we don't get that because we've never been exposed to that. So as we move forward, in the future, you're going to hear terms like energy security. You're going to hear terms like energy poverty, and you're going to hear about energy wealth. These are things we're going to start hearing a lot more about in the coming years. And one of the reasons we're going to start hearing a lot more about it is because of technology, because of data centers. The new data center that they're building in my state will use as much power as 700,000 homes. And they're going to build thousands of these all over the world. We're going to build thousands of them just in the United States. So energy has always been the number one most important commodity on the planet, and it's about to become even more important as the demand for energy skyrockets with AI, with technology. This stuff takes a lot of juice. It takes a lot of juice. And, a lot of people are very passionate about the climate, and understandably so. I'm concerned about it myself. If you believe the climate crisis that we have could kill us all, which I don't know if it could or not. It could definitely make life crazy. There's something else that could kill us all, and that's not having energy. That is just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than the climate. And I'm not making a case for not using renewable energy or any of that. What I'm saying is we need energy, period. And it is first and foremost the most important thing. People around the world will be starving to death. There will be famine, disease, all kinds of stuff because there's no energy. And when you have a lack of energy at the same time, where you have these, antibiotic resistant sicknesses and illnesses, and you have super viruses popping up all over the country, all around the world, not having the energy we need could literally wipe us out. There's a lot more things going on than just the climate. And so all I'm saying is all of these things need to be considered in how we move forward. Right? All of these things need to be considered. The people that want to get rid of oil and gas don't understand that there would be no COVID vaccine without it. The COVID vaccine would have never existed without oil and gas. That's not a thing. Would have been a lot worse. It would have been 1,000 times worse if not for oil and gas. And, we are taught to hate a lot of things by the media and by politicians. Oil and gas is one of those things. People on the other side are taught to hate renewable energy. The fact of the matter is we need all of it. We need all of it. No matter what your opinion is or what you hate, everything has its negatives, right? With fossil fuels, we have climate change. With renewables, renewables bring about whole other problems in the fact that you cannot build them without fossil fuels, right? So there's definitely pros and cons to everything. Jill, do you know what appliance in your house uses the most energy?
No, I don't actually.
Would you like to guess?
Sure.
It's not the fridge and it's not the oven. It's not the dryer and it's not the washer and it's not the AC and it's not your curling iron. We haven't.
It's not the AC?
No.
Okay, that was going to be my guess.
So Beef got it right. It's the water heater.
But mine's gas.
Okay, so if you have a gas water heater, it's not as energy intensive, but it's still very energy intensive. But it's absolutely the water heater. Keeping water hot 24 hours a day takes a lot of energy. If you have a electric water heater, it actually uses more energy than a gas. But that's because there's a lot of lost energy density in gas water heaters. So the consumption of energy is still pretty equivalent, but the amount of energy you actually contain and use is less because there's heat loss in gas that isn't as significant in electric. So yeah, it's the water heater. It's 100% the water heater. And a lot of people don't realize that, as was proven here when I asked the question, because I had 15 answers and none of them were right.
Well, that doesn't even come to mind when you're thinking of what, it never even came to my mind. I didn't even think about it. So the newer the hot water tank, the better you are.
Yeah, the newer the better, for sure. That's always going to be the case.
Mine's new, so.
Now, and someone asked which one cost me more. Energy consumption is not, when we're talking about it in this respect or context, it's not really about cost, because in some places your natural gas is much more expensive and your water heater could actually cost you more if it's on gas. And in some places electricity is more expensive than natural gas. And so so it depends on where you are, right? On average, typically having a gas water heater will be less expensive than having electric. On average, typically, but when natural gas prices are high, that's not the case. And right now with gas over $4, it's probably a wash. It also depends on how your electricity is generated. Is it generated in Oklahoma? Is it generated in Pennsylvania with renewable, with natural gas? So a lot of that matters.
So in my area, the gas is actually cheaper than electric.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it is cheaper for me to have that.
that's because you live in a deregulated state where electricity's higher than it should be.
Yes. Well, it's not too bad. I can't complain.
Not where you live,
I
it's
see
not.
higher bills.
Yeah. It's not that bad where you live, but the farther east you go, the worse it gets.
Yes.
The farther.
Then again, I have people around me complaining that they got like a $500 gas bill, and I'm like, well, mine was $90. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to you.
That may be an energy efficiency problem, right? You know, a water heater is a lot like a toilet. If a toilet drips, it'll fill up a fucking swimming pool, right?
Yes.
A dripping toilet can land you an outrageous water bill because the thing's dripping 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and over time, this really accumulates. It's like compounding interest, but you can end up with a $700 water bill because your damn toilet's got a little leak in it or something you didn't even see. It's the same way with water heaters. If your water heater is old and inefficient, there's a ton of energy density loss. There's a ton of heat loss, and it acts almost like a toilet in that respect, in that it's losing power daily and it's running more and more and more inefficiently. And over time, that compounds, and you end up with stupid electric gas bills, right?
Yes, because before we got our new one, it started having issues, our old one, and my gas bill was really high. But once I got the new one, it went back to, lower.
Many of us want to know whether a tankless water heater uses less energy. A tankless water heater does use less energy. I used to have a tankless water heater in my last house. But I haven't looked to see if it uses less energy than a fridge. I would guess that it does. But even if it does, it would still be the second most, or the second highest amount of energy consumption in your house, even with a tankless. Because even though a tankless is on demand and it's not running when you're not using water, when you are using water, it is using an enormous amount of energy, more than a normal water heater. So it just runs less and it is more efficient. So, if the next question is would I recommend one, I was very happy with the one I had. It worked great. And also, when it quit working on me, I was able to buy another one and install it myself very quickly. And the thing about having a tankless water heater, if you have to replace it, it's very important to replace it with the exact same model you had the first time, because you can just take it off, unhook it, and stick the new one on there. You don't have to change any of your wiring. You can just rehook it back up. If you have one kind of tankless and you replace it with a totally different model or brand, you're probably going to have to do a lot more work to hook it up, electrician type work that you may not want to do. So I would definitely recommend. My tankless was electric. I would definitely recommend, if you ever have to replace your tankless, to find one that matches the one you already have. And also, when I replaced mine, I got on Amazon, and some of you may not know this, but you may not have heard of Amazon Warehouse. Amazon warehouse is where, which they're actually doing away with this because they're going to tell people they don't want them returning stuff anymore. They'll just give them a refund because it costs them more money to process their returns than to just let the people keep it. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that's a thing Amazon's going to do. I think Walmart's doing it too. If you get a product from them that's no good and you want a refund, they're just going to let you keep it because it costs more money to send it back to them and for them to process all this stuff. They just give you the refund. So I'm sure a lot of people will take advantage of that. Anyway, I bought my replacement tankless water heater from Amazon Warehouse, which is all the returns, everything that's ever been returned. And most of the items that's been returned to Amazon have some type of damage on the box. So when the box gets to the shipper, if it has any damage on it, they'll send it back and say, this box is damaged, we won't ship it. So I got a brand new water tankless, or not water tank. I got a brand new tankless water heater that matched the one I already had for like a third of the price of a new one. And it was brand new. It just had a ding in the box, so they didn't ship it. So just a bit of advice there. If you didn't know about Amazon Warehouse, it's a place where you can go buy returned items, and you can get some really good deals. And they will tell you why it was returned. So if it was returned because it didn't work, they'll tell you that. Do you think we'd be better off joining the USA? Absolutely not. There's no universe where Canadians would be better off joining the United States. That's not a thing. I know some Canadians believe that, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I'm telling you right now, as an American,
I would never agree to that. No, they should not.
Look, I don't know. I don't know what you pay in taxes. I don't know about your total cost of living and all that in Canada, but I know this. I know that I pay like $2,000 a month for health insurance, and I know that if I don't have that health insurance, that I could probably go bankrupt and lose every single thing I've ever worked for in my life over an accident that is completely unavoidable. And I would trade that for anything. If I could get my health insurance taken care of and my health care taken care of, that is such a huge part. And just the not having the risk of losing everything you've ever worked for over an illness or an injury that was completely unavoidable.
I completely agree to that. For someone who has no health insurance right now, I 100% agree to that.
And, that health insurance that I buy, it's really good health insurance, but even the stuff that sucks is really expensive. And that's just for me and my wife and one kid. Like, there's not 8 people on my health insurance. And, 10 or 15 years ago, that was costing me maybe $300 or $400 a month, and now it's $2,000 a month. So a lot of people in this country have to decide between health insurance and other things.
Some of them have to decide between health insurance and eating.
Yes. My husband was in the hospital for 32 days, $669,000. My granddaughter was in the NICU for nearly 90 days. It was over $2 million. Over $2 million in medical bills for my granddaughter. That would bankrupt 99.9999% of the people in this country. Like, so yeah, I cannot find a single reason why anyone in Canada would want to be a U.S. citizen. It makes absolutely no sense to me. None. Like, I don't get it. And that's just one issue. I mean, there's other things too that I won't get into, but just that one thing is enough for me.
Yeah, we have the ACA, and it's not bad, right? It gets people the pre-existing conditions and things like that. But if your work offers you a certain type of health insurance, it's way worse than the ACA, and you're paying triple, so you just don't get it. That's usually how it works here. And it's all income based at the ACA, in case anyone didn't know that.
Hi, Oilfield Junkie. Good to see you here. I want you to know I watch your content. I watch your videos. Oilfield Junkie is a lease operator down in the valley, and I have a lot of friends that work in the valley, and he kind of reminds me of a lot of people I know from the McAllen area. I know a lot of people from the McAllen area, and so I watch his, because he reminds me of my friends that I know down there. So welcome to the Live Junkie. One of my good friends down there in McAllen is an inspector for the Railroad Commission. Hell, you might know him. The amount of commercials for prescription drugs in America is ridiculous. That's insane. Why do you need to run a commercial for a prescription drug? Like, Oilfield Junkie, his name is David Martinez. Yeah, I don't understand why there's commercials for prescription medicine. I don't get that. Like, I never saw a commercial and thought, oh, I'm gonna go tell my doctor to prescribe me that. Like, I don't tell my doctor what to prescribe me. If I gotta tell my doctor what to give me, then I don't need a doctor. I just buy it from Canada online, which I have done on occasion. What impact would an export tax have on Alberta oil? Would U.S. refineries buy it anyway? They absolutely would buy it anyway. So that is the answer. Any question about export taxes, import taxes, any fees that can be added to a barrel of oil from Alberta, doesn't matter. They're still going to buy it anyway. Unless and until it drives the price of it up so high that it's more expensive than the alternative. But there is a long way to go for that oil to be more expensive than the alternative. So they could put a huge tax on that. Still going to buy it. Still going to buy it. Is there a standard rate for a percentage split on landowner versus producer, like 12%? The most So sort of the average across the nation is 1/6. Okay, which would come out to what? 18, 17 and a half, 18%, something around there. That is the average across the United States, 1/6. Now, in areas that are very prolific, in areas that produce a great deal of oil, like if you're a landowner in West Texas in the Permian Basin where the wells just produce an enormous amount of oil, you definitely get better rates, right? You get a better split. So the better your acreage, the better your split. The worse the acreage, the worse your split. But it's 1/6 is about the average. And that's why Biden increased the royalties to the U.S. Treasury, to the Bureau of Land Management, on federal lands, because the royalties paid to the taxpayers of the United States for oil produced on federal lands had been the same since 1920. It had been the same for over 100 years. And so, when Joe Biden increased it, he basically increased it to the national average. That way that the U.S. taxpayer wasn't getting screwed, because that's what was happening. The U.S. taxpayer was getting screwed. And basically what the government was doing, the government was saying, okay, we recognize that you're having to deal with the bureaucracy of the United States government, so we're going to give you discounts on the royalties. Hey, look, Mitzi's in the chat on YouTube. Hi, Mitzi.
What?
Mitzi's in the chat.
I see now. I see her now. So, Karen, we thought we got in trouble for saying Karen last night on here, but it wasn't. It wasn't that. So he changed the name Karen to Mitzi.
Why are you explaining this?
Because then people would be wondering who's Mitzi and looking for Mitzi in the chat.
Not Karen. She wouldn't know.
Nope. And everybody else would be like, where's their Mitzi?
Yeah. Somebody, I won't say who, somebody thought they got a violation for saying the word Karen.
Because it was immediately after Nadia said they're Karens, right? Immediately after the violation came up. And I was like, what?
Today I brought you to the dispo. You brought me to the dispo? Man. I love the dispo.
Anani, I've never been to a dispo. I'm so glad you brought us.
I've been to dispos. Dispos are cool. See? Look. What a coincidence. Her dog's name was Mitzi.
Oh my goodness. That is awesome.
That is funny. My dog's name was Mitzi.
That's cool.
There has to be some story. Like, there has to be some reason why she named her dog Mitzi.
There has to be some reason why you picked Mitzi.
I picked Mitzi because I was thinking of the time. Who's the funny actor? He was in The Hangover. The little short plump guy. Anyway, he was in the movie Campaign, right?
Uh-huh.
He was in Campaign with Will Ferrell. That guy. Yeah, Zach Galifianakis, or whatever, however you say it. His wife, her name was Mitzi in the movie Campaign. And when he would say her name, it would crack me up. Because just the way he said it, the way he enunciated it was hilarious. He put a lot of emphasis on the T and the S or the T and the Z. What is a dispo? A dispo is where you go get your green beans. Now they're like, you got to go to a special place to get green beans? Yes. Do they still have dispos in Pennsylvania for beer? Can I say that word?
Yes, they have dispensers. They do have them. Yes, we still have them all around us.
Okay. The last time I was there, you had to go to a dispo to buy that. I was like, what? Like, you can't just buy it at the grocery store like everybody else?
No, we don't have a groceries. We don't have alcohol in our grocery stores yet.
Why?
Well, at least not in my area. I don't know if Philadelphia does or not, but no.
They didn't.
I don't think Pennsylvania does at all.
They didn't have it. They didn't have it anywhere. I've been all over that state.
Yeah.
I spent time in Pittsburgh.
Sheets is the only place, I think.
Sheets.
They got there. You have to have a liquor license.
Ah. That was so weird to me.
It's not weird to me because this is how it's always been.
No, I'd go to this store that was basically like a barn that was full of like coolers to buy a 12-pack. Yeah, you can buy that stuff at the drive-thru where I'm from, like anywhere. Grocery store, drive-thru. You can get the, in Louisiana, you can go through a drive-thru and get a margarita while you're driving.
Yeah, you can't. Well, you can go to restaurants and get it, but prior to COVID, I don't think you could get it to go. I don't know if you still can now. I don't know if you can get it to go now that, the COVID's over, but it had to be in a sealed container.
Oh, my God.
Because you can't have it in your vehicle, like opened. You can't have an open container in your vehicle.
So Mitzi says she could DoorDash it.
That started after COVID. They were able to do that.
I mean,
in a closed container. Like I said, I don't know if they're still doing that or not. I have no idea because I don't order alcohol.
Yeah, I don't either. It's just I'm not calling her Mitzi anymore. It didn't hit. Thank you for the gifts. No, the dispo in Oklahoma is different than the dispo in Pennsylvania for sure.
Yeah, see, someone down there said you cannot take liquor to go from a restaurant in Philadelphia. That would be our area too then. They just did it during COVID, and it had to be in a closed container of sort.
Really? Awesome. Thank you for the gifts. Halfway to my goal. Juju says, it wasn't until about 10 years ago when you could buy it on Sunday. It was the same way here. It also wasn't that long ago. I don't remember 10 or 15 years ago. before you could get a tattoo in Oklahoma. You couldn't get a tattoo.
You couldn't get a tattoo?
Right. It was against the law.
Okay, that's weird.
You had to go to another state.
Someone said PA does have it in grocery and convenience stores with limits and only beer and wine. Not in my area. Just sheets. Just sheets. And because there's so many laws here in Pennsylvania that you have to have a liquor license, and a lot of them grocery stores do not want to deal with that. It's expensive, and on top of it, but Sheetz has it, and certain convenience stores will have it, yeah. But like Walmart, no. Our Giant Eagle, no. Our Shop and Save, no. None of them have it.
Yeah. So there was a point, sometime in the last 20 years where tattoos became really popular again. Like when I was much younger, tattoos were not at all popular. And if you had a tattoo, you were like the scourge, right? People really looked down upon you if you had tattoos. And then I don't know, maybe like 20 years ago, sometime they became really popular. And so in Oklahoma, all these kids started getting tattoos. They would go to other states, but there was also like black market tattoo shops popping up all over the state, and kids were giving themselves tattoos and all this stuff, and people were getting sick. So the state actually passed a law that would go ahead and allow tattoos as a safety concern.
I wonder what that reminds me of. They approved it for safety.
Yeah, it was a safety issue.
Yeah, I wonder what that reminds me of. I just can't think of it.
Because people were getting these tattoos and they'd get infected because it was done with like a melted ink pen or some shit. I don't even know how they were getting like jailhouse type tattoos. And they were getting like whatever infection. I don't know. They were getting whatever you can get from that happening. And so that's why they passed it as a safety concern.
Completely understandable.
But what is it reminding you of? I can't figure that out.
Roe v. Wade. Why did they pass Roe v. Wade?
Because they wanted to get. Oh, why did they pass it? Okay.
Why did they allow abortions? It's so hard on here what you can say and what you can't. Why did they allow it?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I thought you were going the other way. I thought you were talking about why they got rid of it, and I was like, that don't make any sense. But yeah, that makes perfect sense. Why they passed it. How far under the skin is a tattoo? I think it's just, I don't really know, but it's like maybe a couple of layers. I don't know. Yes, the back alley abortions, the coat hangers. Jeff says it's millimeters. Second layer of skin. So what? Please play the song Love Me by Alligator Cyborg. What?
Okay, that's weird. requesting songs now. Are
Frankie,
you taking requests?
no. Frankie, that was Daria that hooked you up with that gift subscription. And thank you again, Daria. Kelly, what are you talking about?
So the comments aren't moving very fast, so she's talking about what we were talking about before.
I know.
Hey, let's get Mr. Global to 10,000. Tap his face. Help him meet his goal. Did you meet your goal yet? No, you didn't. You still need to meet your goal.
That's a great question. Does the tattoo ink pen have 2 holes? I don't know. I never paid that much attention to it. Thank you, Ophel Junkie. I mean, it's basically a needle where the ink is forced, so I don't think you need to worry about air pressure. So, Jill, did you hear the supposed, right, leaked audio from JD Vance?
I did not. What's it say?
Well, let's start by saying we don't know if it's real or not.
Right.
He's talking about Elon Musk. And none of it's good.
Well, he's probably, it could be real. We're not saying it is, but it could be because he is probably quite pissed off that he took his job. You know how they feel about them immigrants taking their jobs.
Yeah. Don't know if it's real or not. It was convincing. It was convincing, but I don't know if it's real. He calls him an embarrassment. He talks about the fact that he's not an elected official and he shouldn't have this power. He brings up the fact that he's from South Africa. Like I said, I don't know if it's real. Like, you don't hardly know what's real anymore. You can tell with video. It's really hard with the audio, though.
Yeah, it's real. It is.
Are you familiar with Butterfly Revolution? I am not familiar with Butterfly Revolution. So Smarty Pants says it's an AI voice, which was, kind of my suspicion.
That's what I was wondering.
But the way they present it, like there's background noise, so it's almost like it sounds like someone captured his voice from sort of far away, which kind of makes it sound more legitimate than it is. Like they did a good job of trying to make it sound legitimate.
Yeah, did they come out with its AI? Is that what Mr. Smarty Pants said, though? But did they come out with that already?
I'm assuming they did because he said it's AI voice.
Good, because I'm sure people will be sharing it everywhere, and I want to be able to find the thing saying it's not real. If it is, I want to be able to find that and share that to them.
So I have never once shared one of these audio clips because I have no way of knowing, right?
Right.
And even if I think it's my opinion on the matter doesn't matter, I just don't share it because I don't know if it's real.
So you're right about that, and I don't share them usually either. Well, I don't share them. But if somebody else shares them and I can prove them wrong, I will let them know that.
Yeah.
So that's why I like to know if it's real or fake and if there's proof out there.
And the thing is, I think maybe one of these that's been put out recently was actually real, and I think the rest were fake, is what everyone has determined. And I think they know that if they occasionally put one out that's real, that it gives a lot more credibility to all the ones that are fake. It's almost like the real one is there to give it some credibility, and then so once that occurs, then people will naturally assume that maybe some of the other ones are actually real and spread them.
The most important part of it is that the Trumpers believe it's real. And they will. And they will. And I think that's the point of it.
So Hoosier says, I heard it and thought it was AI. So I heard it and thought it was AI, but not because of the sound, but just because of what he was saying. Like to me, it sounded good. But that didn't mean I believed it, right? Just because the words they're saying matter as much as the quality of the sound. And I think that's how you have to approach it, because this stuff's only going to get better where it sounds perfect. Like the video technology will get to a place where it looks perfect. The sound technology will get to a place where it sounds perfect. And then at that point, it's like, okay, is what they're saying actually believable? One of the sort of genius things about the new JD Vance audio is that he's saying what a lot of people already believe. And that contributes to people believing it's real, because he's saying something they believe. And these people are getting pretty good at this stuff. Maybe this is an AI Mr. Global. Could be. Could be. I spent a few bucks. I went all out.
This is also pre-recorded.
Yeah, this is pre-recorded as well. Rich, I didn't see your DM about the tax question, so I can't. When I see it, I'll address it, but I can't address it here because I haven't seen it, and I can't go look at it while I'm in the live. A good lie should always be half true. That's true. A good lie should always be half true. Yeah, I'll check it out, Rich, when I get off the live. So for the people on YouTube, what we're talking about with, we were on a live one night on TikTok and someone came in and they were debating me over whether I was the real person or not. They were talking to me and debating me on whether I was the real me.
At first, they told him, they said he ain't speaking, so it can't be the real one. That's what they told me. And I was like, would you speak to them? And he wouldn't at first. He would not at first. He was so messing with them. And finally, he spoke to me, and then they still were like arguing about it.
It was odd. Because they had been conversing with me, or so they thought, for quite some time through messages.
Yes, so they thought. Oh, speaking of fake Mr. Globals, do you remember that one I was messing with?
Yes.
Well, he messaged me and said, how can I convince you? And I said, go live right now. And he ignored me. Can't figure out why.
You should message him back and say, what up? Are you going to go live or not?
I should, and I think I will. Mm-hmm.
Tell him you'll go live with him.
Yes. Or maybe I should tell him to join my live.
Maybe he will.
Do you remember the one that came up?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he will.
Did you send it today, Navy? Because if you did, I didn't get it yet. Yeah, maybe he'll come up like that other one did. That other one came up, but dropped as fast as he came up there.
Charlotte needs a serious relationship. Charlotte, go to a Home Depot. This is not the place to find that. Right, Joe?
What does she need?
A serious relationship.
Is she on here?
Yes.
On TikTok?
Yeah, in the chat.
Oh, I missed that chat, but that comment. But yeah, this isn't the place.
You should send her that puppet video and say, this is why you can't have a serious relationship.
No. No. Oh my God.
It's
I still can't.
It's a fake account.
Of course it is. All right, I found her. She's gone.
What?
Listen, you don't need fake accounts on here spamming the chat.
But Kelly was going to be the matchmaker.
No, Kelly wasn't.
Hey, you could hook Charlotte up with the fake Mr. Global. They might be the same person.
So I block all them Mr. Globals, right? Unless I'm messing with them at the time. Well, I was looking at my block list, and a lot of them finally changed their picture. See, Kelly said, hell no, I was not.
No, you could send her a link or share the fake Mr. Global profile with her because it's probably the same person. And then tell her to go fuck herself.
I'm not connecting Charlotte with anyone. She's shit out of luck.
Oh. Some people. Yes, seriously, go love yourself.
See, Kelly, I'm not a troll.
Go love yourself and don't forget that you like foreplay.
Yes, Daria, that is a thing. You
Pete-
can say that, but you cannot say that. Yes.
Pete says he was about to connect with Charlotte.
I'm so sorry, Pete. She's still on there. She's just blocked from here. You can go back and find her comment. I do troll my friends' lives, yes.
Yeah.
I usually like to troll the ones I'm a mod in because there's been a few times where so my main is the mod on Barristers, and there was a few times that I had to go with my 2.0 over there and troll, and then I had to come back on this one and unblock myself.
Wait, what? You blocked yourself?
No, somebody blocked me on my 2.0 in Barristers. They've done it a lot of times. This was like in the beginning.
Ah.
And I had to go back onto this account and go back over there and unblock myself.
Ah, that makes sense.
I was like, why are you people blocking me?
Oh, man. I can't believe you cook blocked Pete.
I did not.
You did.
Okay, the comment is still in the chat. He can go over there and talk to her.
As per Pete, you did.
Yes, when I go off on the lib rules. Like I couldn't believe that they thought I was serious when I wrote lib rule.
Yeah.
RLL.
So does anybody like? I don't know what ketamine is. Do you know what ketamine is?
I think I do, but I'm not gonna say because I'm not sure.
Yeah. All these people talking about Elon Musk using ketamine. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. Horse tranquilizer, anesthesia. Wow.
Okay.
A horse tranquilizer. I'm not taking a horse tranquilizer. That's not a thing. Nah, I'm not doing that.
That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
It's what Matthew Perry OD'd on. Wow. Man. Like, I just take some melatonin or something.
Oh my God.
It's like, we're going to give you some K. You're like, nah. Like, I'll just go to Walgreens and get some melatonin gummies. Like,
So Kelly, yes, that is where I heard it from.
wow. Can I ask a question about our Alberta oil? Absolutely. Hooligans, you can. Well, and what happens if something happens to him taking this stuff? And then the conspiracy theory is going to be that, someone took him out. Are we seeing continued worldwide investment in renewables? Yes, we are. Absolutely, we are. It might drop a little in the United States, but yes. Frank, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Frankie. Not taking any. I won't even eat Special K cereal. I'm not taking a drug called Special K. Thank you so much, sister. Thank you for your membership. So basically, he's a rockhead.
Basically.
Further proof, that money can't buy happiness. Dude's on ketamine. Thank you so much for the gifts. I'm gonna reset my goal. Yeah, that's just insane to me. Yeah. Well, I guess the ketamine costs money, but is Florida's oil shortage true? No, that is not a thing. It is. That's from last year. It's not a thing. I guess that's why I guess that's why he's always got that look on his face, huh?
Could be. So it went from Florida having no gas to Florida or oil shortage?
Neither. They don't have either.
I know they don't have either, but I'm saying it went from that to that now. Is that what it is?
I don't know. The only thing Florida has a shortage of is common sense.
That is exactly what I was going to say. say. Yes, absolutely.
Daria says he has that look on his face due to the forceps.
Oh, forceps?
Yeah, you know, the forceps.
Yeah, yeah.
A little too many foot pounds per inch of pressure on those forceps, I think is what she's saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, man. What fields do you see smaller operators targeting since all of the M&As lately? You know, one of the fields that's being targeted pretty heavily right now is the Western Anadarko Basin, where I'm at. There's a lot of smaller operators here targeting Cherokee Shell. Um, John, thank you so much for the super chat. When a man breaks his hand on your head, you're a hardhead. It's funny you say that because a man actually broke his hand on my head one time in a fight that I got into. Fortunately for me, because that's the only reason I won.
Great.
What?
You have a hard head.
I do. I felt so bad for the guy. Like I literally visited him in the hospital.
Oh my God.
Because listen,
Did
so
you visit him to laugh at him first off?
no, so what happened was this guy thought I was someone else. He didn't know me, and I was like 19 or 20 years old, and um, someone had told him there was this guy hitting on his girlfriend. Well, for whatever reason, he thought it was me, but it wasn't. And this guy come up behind me, and he jumped me from behind, and he punched me right in the back of the head. First hit, like it didn't lay me out, but it knocked me down. I didn't have any idea what was going on. And then he got on top of me and he started punching me. And then suddenly he just stopped. And it like he shattered his hand. He had, you know, when they have like the metal things coming out of your hand when someone breaks their hand really bad? That's what he had. That's how bad he broke his hand. And I remember, no, I wasn't wearing a cap. I had a full head of hair back then. But anyway, one of my friends told me that guy, what had happened, like how bad it was. And I went up there and saw him because he had relayed a message to me through someone else apologizing and saying it was mistaken identity. I thought you were, you know, he found out after the fact that it wasn't actually me. And he reached out through one of his friends that knew one of my friends or something and apologized to me. So I went up to the hospital and we had a laugh about it because I have a really hard head. The dude, he didn't hurt me at all. Like so
God.
my little gimbal just died.
Your what?
My gimbal. It's my little thing that holds my phone. It just died.
Did it fall over?
No, the battery's dead. You don't know what a gimbal is?
No.
So it's like a stand you put your phone on and it'll follow you around and turn.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. I had one in my closet for a really long time that I didn't even know I had, and my wife found it, and she's like, "Hey, you ought to use this."
Yeah. Now it's dead. You have to charge it though. You know, using it means you have to charge it.
Well, the battery was fully charged. I usually just keep it plugged in, but now I know how long the charge lasts. 2 hours.
About 2 hours.
Yeah, about 2 hours. All right, well, it's about 4 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it down, Jill.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, everyone, so much for joining the live and supporting us and coming out and hanging out with us. If you're interested in one of the T-shirts, a lot of Mr. Global T-shirts in my online store. Thank you so much again for the super chats and the gifts and your support. Link in my bio for the T-shirts if you want one. Jill?
Thank you, everyone, for the gifts. And have a great Sunday.
So before I go, real quick, look, I will be making an announcement probably Monday or Tuesday about I'm going to do an interview with Will Westmoreland again, where I'm going to be on his channel, and he's going to be interviewing me. And when that date and time is set, I'll let you guys know. And if you don't follow Will, I'll show you, how to get to that page and see that interview. So thanks, everyone. See you guys. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks.